and welcome back to my channel. This is Doug, and I've got another unboxing. This one's very exciting. This is a special day. This is not for me. This is for my wife. It's her birthday this week, and this pen just came out. And I was lucky enough, I did the fast shipping on it from Gogh Pens. It only came out last Thursday, and here it is Monday, and I've got it in my hands. So we're going to do an unboxing and reveal, and then I'm going to package it back up again as best I can as a birthday present. I'm going to fast forward through all this so you don't have to listen to all the tearing and all the slow motion ripping. Here we go. Okay, here we are back at normal speed, and we have a nice little card from Gogh Pens, and it's thank you from Margaret, and this is Lammy Amazonite. Nice. I'm going to have to put all this back together again for my wife. Pat your order. Slightly ridiculous amount of care. Thank you, Christopher C. And ubiquitous lollipop. I don't know whether I can put it all back together again with such ridiculous care Christopher did. We will do what we can. I bought a couple of syringes as well. And here we are. This is the Breeze in lime. This is Breeze on the other side. This is just the outside sleeve and the Visconti on the side. And take the sleeve off. Oh, I see. And so, international warranty card, and there's the Breeze. Now, should I slip it out of this? I know this is cheating. She should be opening this, but I'll put it all back together again for her. Oh, that's lovely. Lovely. This is the vegetal resin, and it's got a new clip design, which you can see that actually hinging across the top there is slightly different than my Visconti Van Gogh, which has the spring mechanism inside, I believe. And this is also different in that with the cap band is on the cap on the Van Gogh. The Breeze has the cap band on the body, or the band on the body. It's no longer a cap band. And what's nice is the section has the same resin on it. Let's see if we can take a look at that nib. And that's a medium. It's got both the M and the two little circles on it, Visconti. Compared to the Van Gogh. Yeah, they look like they're the same nib there. Because I'm looking through the camera, I'll have to look through my magnifier at it a little bit closer. Nice and light. This green color, this light green, is the color of her office. So this is why I was so thrilled with it. And it does come with the converter. It's a standard international Visconti converter, which comes apart. I know it does. And that converter fits in there very nicely. See, there's a metal button on the very bottom. The barrel. Oh, she's going to love this. She's just gone out to the store and it came magnetic cap. Feels a bit different. Yeah, feels a bit different than the VanGogh. Anyway, I'm going to pack this back up again quickly with all the skill and ridiculous care, and then I'm going to have to put it away and wait for her to go somewhere again so I can wrap it as a gift. And I know I'll be horribly inadequate at doing that, but that should be overshadowed by the joy of receiving this beautiful pen.
What did you do, Douglas? It's lime green. Look at that beautiful pen. Oh, honey. Wow.
These are Visconti.
Oh my God. Ah, got ink on my fingers anyway.
Well, that's what happens.
It's part of the experience,
Part of
is
the
it?
experience. Yeah. Organic experience.
I'm all over that. Oh, isn't that lovely? That's lovely.
Okay, now that I've pried the new pen out of my wife's hands, I actually asked her very nicely, and she allowed me to take her pen from her to do an evaluation to see, put it up against my Visconti and see what the similarities are and what the differences are. I haven't actually done a video review of my VanGogh. I've had the VanGogh for about a month. I thought I'd write with it for a while since it's the most expensive pen I've ever purchased. And, give it a good everyday kind of workout and see how much I like it. And not just do a review with the first impressions. So, I'll do a bit of first impression on the Breeze and comparison with the VanGogh, which I've come to know and love over the last month or so. So this comes in a very nice box. There is a white cardboard sleeve that goes with it as well. But it's got the nice Visconti logo on it, and it says Breeze under there. A little hole to push it through, and there's a sleeve inside that reveals the pen. Certainly not the premium packaging you get with the Van Gogh, but this is a much lower price point on this pen. So it looks very nice. This is the lime color, and it comes in a number of different flavors. They all seem to have a fruity kind of a flavor. There was some questioning as to whether these would look as vibrant in person as they do on the advertisements, and they certainly do look pretty vibrant in person. So I don't know whether the video will pick it up or not, but they're quite striking. I wouldn't say they're day glow, but they're bordering on that. So I showed it earlier before I had actually given it to my wife, but we'll do another beauty tour here. It's got the new Visconti clip, of course the Visconti Ponte arch is well known. Visconti is laser etched in negatively laser etched, so the Visconti is just on the plain chrome, and the rest of it is a laser etch. And this clip goes all the way around the top, and you can see that it moves. Put that there. It moves with the clip all the way around. So it's a new engineering, which is different than the engineering on the Van Gogh, which I assume is spring-loaded under here. And so it doesn't have it has a different kind of travel on it than the Breeze does. This actually feels a lot stiffer. It is a lot stiffer than the Van Gogh. So I'm thinking that maybe that's what the complaints were against the clip, is that it didn't actually hold on to things very well. If you look at the two of them, you can see that there's a flat section along there on the Van Gogh, but it's a different shape. It's a curve there, so it only touches the barrel, one place there. It goes all the way around the top of the cap. The other major difference between this one and the Van Gogh is that the cap band is no longer on the cap. The cap band with the engraved or stamped, I can't tell through the camera, Breeze on here. It goes all the way around, Breeze. But it's on the body itself. And, of course, on the Van Gogh, it's on the cap band. And the body meets the section, the metal section on the Van Gogh, with a slight curvy kind of a step down to the section, which has a small step up. It's tapered in here. It's got a small step up there. But other than those differences, these two pens are basically identical in terms of length. When you take their caps off, or when you have the caps on, not when they're posted, but they're absolutely identical. In fact, I have swapped this section nib and feed and converter with this one. They're completely interchangeable. You'll also notice that that cap goes on the Van Gogh and the magnet works, and vice versa. No danger of mixing these guys up. Oh, it doesn't work. I didn't try it this way. Of course that doesn't work. It's got two caps trying to go together. But I was surprised to see that. And there's a Franken pen for you. Get these guys back together again. I'll give you some, well, let's take a look at the rest of the pen first. The bottom of the barrel has a small metal plug on it. This is a vegetal resin, according to the Visconti website. The bottom of that cap can see it or not, but there is a small Phillips screw. And if you open this up, this pen is now inked up. You saw it earlier when Wynn did that. You look down at the bottom of the barrel there. It's just the end plug at the bottom. And you can see how translucent this is. Standard International Converter, Visconti, which is disassemblable. So you can take this band off and remove the piston and clean that all out. I'm not going to take this out of the section because it's inked up. This is the big difference, is that the section now has the same resin on it as the body, whereas the Van Gogh, a lot of people complained about this, and the Rembrandt as well has this metal section. I don't mind the metal section. The only thing that bothers me a little bit about it is the fingerprints it picks up. But, you know, I just wipe it after I've used it, and it's fine. The only one that sees the fingerprints is me. And I don't care because it writes so beautifully. Let's take a look at the nib. It is a Visconti medium. It has the 2 circles. And then says Visconti and an M. And that particular pattern. This is the new version of these nibs. I've seen photos online of the older version on the Van Gogh. Again, it's exactly the same nib. Exactly the same. But the older versions of the Van Gogh had a different style on there, different stamping, and the consensus seems to be that Visconti has changed them out due to some quality issues, some nibs not performing as well as they should. But I know that the Van Gogh wrote right out of the box, no problems. And as soon as Wynn inked this up, it wrote beautifully right out of the box. So no issues here. And I've also heard from other people online that their new Viscontis have had, the steel nibs have had no issues whatsoever. So let's look at some sizes, lengths, weights of these 2 pens. They're almost identical, except for their color and their bodies. The Van Gogh, of course, has the My Pen system right at the finial. It now says Visconti on there. Visconti, I can focus on that. Should have the Visconti logo on there. And that's a magnetic piece. So if you have a strong magnet, you can pull that off and replace it with any of the Visconti semi-precious stones or your initials if you want to buy that set. They also sell a magnet that will remove that piece so you can install it on the end, your custom piece. But really any relatively strong magnet will pull that off. I've got a little tool that it's a magnetic picker-upper for screws and things like that, and it pulled that off just fine. Of course, the Visconti body is faceted. You can see that it's the same vegetal, not vegetable, but vegetal resin. And this one is in the Starry Night pattern. They picked up specific colors from the painting by Vincent van Gogh, or Van Gogh, as you're supposed to say it properly. And there is the opening of the box. There's the Visconti box. And the pen goes just there like that. It's a triangular thing. Very interesting box. This box has been replaced. It's triangular, and it opens up and reveals both the painting and the pen. This box has been replaced with a newer version, which doesn't have all these features. It isn't triangular; it's a rectangular box, and doesn't even have the painting that is matched with the pen. So I got the old style box, but the new style Van Gogh. The old style had the name of the painting actually stamped in the cap, but this new style just has Van Gogh on the front and Visconti, Italy on the back. The magnetic cap, of course, which is a really nice feature. When you have one hand and you want to cap it, you just drop it in there and it caps. If you want to write something, you can pop that cap off, write, and then do this. It's surprisingly convenient because while you're on the phone with one hand, you can be writing down the phone number. Just let me get that down. And okay, and go back to your telephone conversation without worrying about your screwing your fountain pen on. Newer versions of some of these Viscontis have the magnetic catch, but they have little indentations in here that keep the barrel from rotating while it's capped. I actually don't mind it because doing this is kind of like a habit. It's actually kind of a fun habit. I don't think I'm damaging the pen by doing that. I hope not, anyway. So if you take a look at the barrel, it too is faceted, but the facets stop right where it slopes down to the body. Sorry, to the section. And that makes it a very comfortable, on your thumb, very comfortable step down there. Again, I play guitar. Please don't tell me to trim my fingernails. Thank you very much. But the pen sits very nicely in the hand, just perfectly long enough for my hand. I've got sort of medium-sized hands. When you post it, it gets very big. And because the cap is slightly heavier with all this, it's got the cap band on it, all that metal, it feels back-weighted. So I tend to write with this unposted. It does post very securely, so you're not going to lose it at all. So you can write with it if you want to. You don't want to lose track of your cap. The bottom of the barrel is just a single piece of chromed metal, and got it inked up with Asagao, Roshizuku, and you can see that this is not translucent at all, and I can't even see down the end of that barrel. Well, maybe I can a little bit. And just see that metal piece is obviously glued into the bottom of the barrel. Again, exactly the same converter. You can move this converter from this pen to that pen without a problem. So I would assume that I could swap nibs between these two pens as well, if I ever wanted to do that. So if you have a Visconti Breeze with a fine nib and a Van Gogh with a medium nib, you can probably swap them back and forth because they are identical and the sections are identical except for the resin on the Breeze. And I've swapped out the parts even though they look funny. Let's look at the Breeze again and let's talk about some measurements. There are some slight differences. Some of these are going to be the same. In terms of lengths, they are both exactly 140 millimeters long unposted. Both pens are exactly 124 millimeters long. So they're functionally identical. Different shaped bodies, of course, and different color bodies. There's no facets on this Breeze, but it has the really nice stripy kind of resin on it. When you post them, this was a surprise to me. I thought they were identical in all these other ways. They would be identical in this way as well. But the Van Gogh posts at 155, which to me is too long. But look at the Breeze. It's a full 10 millimeters longer. So it's 165 millimeters long, posted. But the difference is, this does not feel as heavy back-weighted. It's certainly a very long pen, but it doesn't feel as heavy back-weighted as the Van Gogh does. So Wynne was writing with this today, and she likes posting her pen. She didn't complain about it at all. But that's because when you get to the weights, these pens are slightly different. And you would expect that because this one has a cap band on the cap and this one doesn't. So the weights here, the Breeze is overall 25 grams in total, and the Van Gogh is 30. And you can feel that difference of 5 grams. I would think that the extra metal at the end here, the extra metal at the end there, and of course the metal section are going to be the 5 grams difference between these two pens. The bodies are almost identical, which is interesting. They're only a gram off. So that difference is the balance between putting the cap on here, the cap band on the body, and the metal section. So the Breeze is 18 grams, and the Van Gogh is 19. So they're only off by a gram. And the caps, this isn't a surprise. The Van Gogh cap is 11 grams, whereas the Breeze cap is only 7. And this really feels light because there's no cap band on it and it hasn't got as much hardware on it. It really feels quite light. So, and again, that's why this, even though it posts long, doesn't feel that heavy back weight. And there they be. Okay, so let me see whether I can do, change my camera around a little bit and see whether I can do a writing sample on both of these guys. Let's start with the Van Gogh. Visconti Van Gogh. Starry Night. And the ink in here is the Roshizuku. One of the reasons I love this pen is it lays down just the right amount of ink. This is a Rhodia dot pad, and this nib is just as smooth as glass. It just feels so glassy, and yet, I don't know if you can hear that, it gives you just enough feedback. The nib isn't really springy. It's a steel nib. It does move a little bit, but I just don't do that. I don't really push down. What I like doing, and that's just one reason I like this pen so much, is this little smooth section for my thumb. And so I hold it down quite low, but my thumb is up quite high. And I let the pen glide on the page, and it's just such a lovely writing experience. I'm screwing that up. Let's go again. It's really hard to write around this camera. A little fast writing. I hate fast writing. Just move Kanga out of the way here. And move up. Lovely pen. Oh, I just adore this pen. It feels just the perfect weight in my hand. It's the perfect size. The metal section is so smooth. It never feels cold. Even if it's a little bit cooler, it warms up in your hand very quickly. The look of it is just gorgeous. I love the facets, the way they flash in the light, and the different colors. This is the second barrel and cap combination I've had for this pen, because when I got it home from the store, I noticed there was a crack in the resin just like there, right at the lip, and it went down about an eighth of an inch or so. I took it back to the dealer right away, and she ordered another one immediately. It came within a week, and she swapped out because she couldn't send back a used pen. She swapped out the nib feed section and converter and replaced the cap and the body with a brand new one. And I was lucky that the brand new one was as beautiful as the one that was slightly cracked. And then she sent the cracked one back to Visconti. She said that their customer service is excellent, but by doing it that way, sending out for a new one and doing the swap and sending the damaged one back, it would be a lot faster for me. And it was painless. So I was quite pleased about that. Now, let's see about our other Visconti. This is the Visconti Breeze. This is a medium nib. I don't think I wrote that down on the Van Gogh is a medium nib as well. They're identical. I did say that. And this ink is Parker Blue. Let's lay down a bunch of ink here. Feels like it's as wet as the Van Gogh. It is as smooth as the Van Gogh. And I kind of expected that they would write exactly the same. It is not the same writing experience, however. Let me move this up. It's not the same writing experience. It's the same feel. Exactly the same nib. But it's not the same writing experience because of this. That cap band being right there, that's now a much different step. And the way I hold my pen, that's right where my thumb is. So you can see, if I get it in close, there's a small curved part there, and there's that lip. And there's these raised letters, and then another lip. You can see that silhouette. There, and there. I feel that on my thumb. And it's, compared to the Van Gogh, it's not comfortable. The rest of the pen is wonderful. It's just so much lighter than the Van Gogh. And it's only 5 grams, but boy, when you've got that sitting in your hand, you can feel those 5 grams. But this part here bothers me a bit. Now, I'm not going to mention that to Win and see what she thinks of it. But that's something to be wondering about. You certainly feel that. So, anyway, quite a price difference between the two. I paid $315 for the Van Gogh, and I paid, that was Canadian money, and I paid $96 US for this. Converting into Canadian, paying the duty and the taxes and the shipping and everything made this pen to be about $150 Canadian. So it's roughly half the price of the Van Gogh for me, and it certainly is a lovely pen, and she's really enjoying it. But even though there are some quite striking similarities between these two pens, there are some interesting differences as well. But we've got certainly two beautiful writing instruments, which we'll enjoy for a long time. So thank you for watching, and that's all she wrote.